In the paper lantern glow of the Chrysanthemum City, I was just another girl, named Mai, with hair as dark as ink and eyes that saw a little too much. Ever since I was a child, I could hear whispers from the things no one else paid attention to, the shadows. My own shadow, a loyal, silent companion, was my closest confidant. It stretched and danced with me in the sunlight, but in the quiet moments, it spoke. It told me which merchants diluted their soy sauce and which court ladies were having secret affairs. Small, harmless truths. But one evening, as the sun bled orange and purple across the tiled roofs, its voice changed. It wasn't a whisper anymore. It was a single, urgent word: run. I froze, a half-eaten mooncake in my hand. Run? Why? I asked it, my thoughts a frantic tumble. The city was celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival. Laughter and music filled the streets. My shadow flickered against the wall, its edges sharp with fear. It showed me an image, not with light, but with darkness. It twisted into the shape of the imperial palace, then a face, the gentle, smiling face of the emperor. But as I watched, the shadow of his smile warped, becoming a cruel, hungry grin. The emperor's shadow was a monster. It told me a secret it had learned by touching the emperor's own shadow in the throne room. He wasn't healing the land's blighted fields with ancient magic, as he claimed. He was draining the life from the land, feeding it into himself to achieve immortality. The failing crops, the strange sicknesses, it was all him. He was a parasite wearing a crown. That night, I couldn't sleep. The festive drums outside sounded like a death march. If I stayed, my shadow warned, the emperor's royal guards, men whose own shadows were unnaturally still and silent, would come for me. He knew someone had discovered his secret. He could feel it. He could smell the truth. Panic clawed at my throat. I was just a girl who sold rice dumplings with her grandmother. How could I stand against an emperor who consumed the very soul of the earth? My shadow stretched toward the door. Run, it urged again, softer this time. We'll find a way. We have to. It showed me another image, a hidden monastery nestled in the highest peaks of the Dragon's Tooth Mountains. A place where forgotten truths were protected. A place where shadows were said to guard ancient knowledge. With my heart pounding, I packed a small bag. A few buns, a flask of water, and the jade pendant my mother left me. My grandmother was asleep, her face peaceful. A wave of guilt washed over me, but my shadow wrapped around my arm, a comforting pressure. It was for her, too. For everyone. I slipped out into the night, avoiding the main streets. The city I loved now felt like a cage. Every guard I saw made my blood run cold. My shadow was my guide, flowing into dark alleys, pointing out hidden paths, and warning me of patrols before I could even hear their footsteps. It told me the emperor's power was rooted in the palace. The further we got, the weaker his influence would be. We were a flicker of light, a tiny truth, escaping a vast and hungry darkness. Now, as I look back from the edge of the woods, the Chrysanthemum City is just a cluster of distant lights. The journey ahead is long and uncertain. I don't know what I'll find in the mountains, or if I have the strength to do what must be done. But I'm not alone. I have a voice that speaks the truth, even if it comes from the dark. My shadow dances ahead of me on the moonlit path, no longer just a copy of my form, but a beacon of courage. It doesn't tell me we'll be safe, or that we'll succeed. It just tells me to keep moving. And for the first time, I realize we aren't running away from the Emperor. We are running toward a fight. My name is Mai, and this is the story of how my shadow and I went to war with an emperor to save the light. Thanks for watching, subscribe or follow StoryCoast so you know what happened next.